So I have actually been kicked out of a used car dealer auction for sharing a lot of the stuff that I share with you here on YouTube. And at the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is actually help you as a consumer. I'm not here for car dealers. I'm here for you, for customers. And that's actually caused me a lot of problems over the years of actually being on YouTube. I've had car dealers come up to me at these dealer auctions and say, Brandon, why are you telling people not to buy from car dealers? You're a car dealer. Why would you do that? Well, I'm really trying to help you not get ripped off. And we know the easy ways of how car dealers rip you off. When you go in to actually buy cars and they want to charge you all these extra fees that you don't need to pay. But what a lot of people don't realize is there's an even easier way for car dealers to actually rip you off. And that's when you go to try to sell them a car or even trade your car in. See, how you should actually approach that is by treating your trade-in as a complete different transaction, as if you were actually selling that car dealer your vehicle. So you want to go in there and negotiate your price that you're paying for a vehicle, but then also negotiate the price that the dealership is paying for your vehicle. And a lot of people get this wrong. And if you're trading in your car to a dealership, in most cases you're going to get ripped off. And if you have a car dealership that's actually buying your car, in most cases you're going to get ripped off. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, Brandon, you're a car dealer. Does that mean that you're ripping off all these customers when you're actually buying and trading in a lot of cars? Well, today I can actually tell you how we approach that, what I do when a customer comes in and wants to sell me their car, or if they want to trade in one of their cars.
Do you buy from private sellers that would rather sell than trade in if the price point was fair for you?
I can probably count on both my hands the number of times I've actually bought from an individual that's come up onto our car lot. The last one is probably 2 years ago. We bought like an F-150 from this kid and his mom that drove up. It was in the mom's name, and she was like, I don't want to deal with people. I heard good things about your car dealership, and I know you're a pretty honest guy, because she had somebody that's bought some cars from us or something, and she said, I want exactly this for this truck, and that's what I'll take, and you can check it out. So because it was just laid in my lap, and this was probably 2 years ago. That's the last one that I bought from an individual. She said she wanted $2,500 for a truck. I said, okay, well that seems cheap. And me and Alex, we got in it, we drove it around. Alex, my mechanic, he hooked up his scanner, crawled under it, everything checked out on it. It was a good truck. And we ended up giving her, she wanted $2,500. We ended up giving her, I think, $3,500 for the truck because she was just so cheap on it. And it was a home run for us. I think we sold it for $5,000, $5,500. We could have even given her more, but we just didn't know if it was going to sell quick. Ended up it did. But yeah, we ended up giving her $1,000 more than what she even wanted for the truck. But that's like the most outlier situation you're ever going to see. We get people that come in all the time that want to sell us cars, and my sales manager Nate and Tara, who does a lot of sales for us, that's usually in the office. The answer is usually it's just no. Like we don't even look at the cars. If somebody will walk in and say, "Hey, I'm trying to sell this car. Do you want to look at it?" They'll just say no, because at the end of the day, if we're having to buy a car from an individual, I feel like we have to rip them off because they can get more money on the car by selling it themselves than they can by selling it to me. Because you got to think, I'm a car dealer. I go to auctions to buy my car. I buy cars wholesale, and they can get maybe not retail value, but better than wholesale value, actually selling it themselves. And I'll tell people a lot of times when they walk up into our dealership, it's like, look, I really would rather not even make you an offer on this car because you're not going to like it. And I'll explain to them, when I go to auction, I get these cars for X amount under what they're actually worth. So you can make an extra $1,000 or $2,000 selling the car on your own versus selling it to me as a dealer or any other dealer. I would never recommend to anyone that's going to sell their car that they would go to a dealership, even to trade in a car. Like you can even get more money, like taking it to CarMax or Carvana and selling it. But you can even get even more money actually selling it yourself. Now there's extra hassle. Got to deal with people. I know I deal with you people all the time, and it's tough. You're tough. You're tough to deal with. So there's hassle there. So if you don't want the hassle, then you can get less money for your car, and I understand that completely. My wife's probably the person that would absolutely take less money for a car just so she doesn't have to deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So and that's the thing. If you want that, then you can. I still wouldn't take it to a car dealer though, because they're gonna bust you on it. But CarMax, Carvana is probably the two best places, and I would check with both of them, see who's going to give you the most for your car. But for me, I don't buy individuals' cars simply because I would have to pay them way less than what the car's worth because I got to make money. I'm not, as much as I like to say it, we're not running a non-profit organization here, although the last few months have felt like a non-profit organization. And that's on top of my family, who is also a horrible nonprofit organization.
No, don't look over here.
It's what happens when it costs you money? It's not nonprofit. It's like it's a loss organization at that point. It's a charity at that point.
Well, I mean that is a nonprofit, so that's why it gets confused.
Charity feels like too nice of a word for what we're doing here.
Yeah. So if I find the website, buy a car online, can you ship?
Nope. Next question.
Okay, we're going to fully answer the question.
No, so no, we don't ship our cars. I've never even thought about shipping cars. Now we teamed up with Car Edge for a very short amount of time to try to sell more expensive cars, and I knew we were going to have to ship those out. But Car Edge was going to figure out the shipping logistics and everything. That was an epic fail. Like because we had to sell cars where people actually had the money, and these were $20,000 to $25,000 cars. Nobody had any money, so that was an epic fail. But that's the only time I even thought about potentially shipping cars. No, but if someone wants to buy a car from me, they have to pull up in my lot. Because here's the thing, you must drive the car before you buy it. I'm not going to sell anyone a car unless they drive the car. And what I also recommend to every buyer that walks into our shop, what my sales manager recommends to every buyer that walks into our shop, is that you should get your car checked out by a mechanic before you buy it. If you just see one online, $2,500, you give us money and we ship it out, that's your car. So what if it's trash? I mean, we're trying our best not to sell bad cars, and we don't want to sell bad cars, and we check them out before, but you can't know that. Like that's a bad purchase decision. That's a bad life decision to buy a car over there. And even like Carvana, even I know they have all these guarantees and stuff on their cars. I think it is absolutely ridiculous that people will click a button and the car will show up in their driveway and they'll buy this car before they even sit in it. Like, I mean, I understand that if there's something wrong with it, Carvana is going to take care of it. I understand that if there's something wrong with it, you don't have to buy the car. But what if you just don't like the feel of the car? Like, I mean, that blows my mind that people will do that. And I mean, that's for expensive cars that nothing should be wrong with the car. A $2,500 car? No, I'm not going to allow anyone to do that without driving the car and getting it checked out by a mechanic before they buy it, because I would not recommend to anything that I'm going to recommend to my mother as far as something that she should do when buying or selling or looking at a car. I'm going to say the same thing to each and every one of my customers that comes through my door. And I'm not going to allow you to just buy a car over the internet and then have it show up at your doorstep and you not even know what you're buying before you bought it.
All right. Now, one more question on trades. Do you take trades for cars like guns, boats, trailers, Ninja Turtles, etc.?
No, we only take Bitcoin. No, I don't.
Someone actually asked about that.
Yeah, no, I don't take any kind of trades. Now, here's the thing. When okay, we go back in time now. Yeah, so
we need a timer.
Yeah, when my wife and I were very early in our marriage, we were, I won't say broke, but we were broke. We didn't have any money. So I guess we were broke. We were living paycheck to paycheck, and but we were getting rid of debt, so we were doing good things. But me, I like to stay moving. I like to always be doing something. I like to always have little side hustles that make money in some capacity. And I couldn't sit still. So I needed to have something else going on, but I didn't have like now it's more dangerous because I spend money to do all these different little hobbies and keep going and things like that. I'm sure my wife's over there shooting. I don't know. Yeah, there's the look. But back then we didn't have any money, so I had to figure out something else to do. So I started trading, like horse trading, a bunch of stuff, and that just means horse trading is
Bartering.
Yeah, bartering. It means you're finding something that you own, you're trying to trade it for something else, and I tried to trade up for a lot of things, and I ended up starting with like a little camera that was worth like $20 and traded all the way up to, I had 2 stand-up arcade machines. I had a jet ski, a drum set, some camping gear, a laptop, a Nintendo Wii. What else did we get through from that whole?
The only thing that I can remember from that entire time frame is the dangerous lawnmower.
Oh, and I got a lawnmower. Yeah, I got a lawnmower, but the lawnmower didn't have
the safety. So
well, it had the safety. I had to cut it out so it wouldn't. Okay. It kept cutting off on me because when you would move on the seat, it was ground itself out. So I just cut the safety switch out of it. My wife did not like that. And then I ripped. It didn't have reverse gear, and I ripped the first 2 gears out of it, so it would only go into 3rd gear. But I kept that lawnmower for years, and I was so proud of this lawnmower because I got it for free. And I didn't want to spend any money because we wanted to get rid of all the debt that we had. So we ended up getting rid of all the debt, but I was still so proud of this lawnmower that I wouldn't buy a new one. I would, and it was horrible, but it would cut grass. That's all it needed to do. But it probably wasn't the safest thing. I think when you were pregnant with our son, I think is when you made me get a lawnmower.
I don't
remember.
You
made me get a lawnmower.
I remember trying to make you get a lawnmower for a long time, or at least just not cut the grass if you have to, because I don't know, it would just seem dangerous.
I was proud of this lawnmower, and I made it run forever. And then I got a new lawnmower, and I wasn't as proud of that lawnmower.
Yep. Here we go.
Where did that question start out?
Oh, what?
Did I answer the question?
The question was, do you trade for things like
boats, yeah,
guns,
so
and
that
Ninja Turtles? I don't think you addressed the Ninja Turtle part.
No, Ninja Turtle stuff. Like that's one of the most expensive things you can buy in like Ninja Turtle memorabilia, and it was like $100. So no, this stuff's not worth anything.
All right.